And we're live. Oh, my notes aren't up. What's up, everybody? This is episode 5 of the Devil Drives a Lada podcast. This week we're going to be talking about, we're going to recap last week about training Ukrainians, and then we're going to get into part 2 of what it's like to train Ukrainians. My trip to Sumy, which is about 20 kilometers off the off the Russian border of Ukraine, during the peak of the fighting there, or just following the peak of the fighting, and then get into the Cursed Bridge and a few other topics. After that, we'll get into current events, and hopefully have a fun time, and be able to teach you guys, and just tell you guys what it's really like over there. Once again, I am Jamie, your host. I spent 8 months in Ukraine, 8.5 months in Ukraine. 5 or 6 of those were in a combat frontline role. I own Ohana Arms. I teach weapons classes, and am just a complete gun gear nerd. And these are some of my friends today. And who's going? I forgot the order we're going in today.
It's me.
You know who you are, whoever it is.
I am Blake. I am one of Jamie's best friends. I followed his shenanigans in Ukraine very closely. Got to hear all the stories ahead of time. Professionally, I work as a mechanic, actually with Jamie, and guns and gear are a hobby for me, so I have no prior military experience. I'm just here to offer any information that I might have.
Alrighty, my name's Traven. I am the diversity hire number 1, as well as the inclusion manager, as well as the social science manager as well. You can call me either Traven or Poverty Tier Poppy. Alrighty.
Is that it?
What's up, guys? I'm Ian. I run a company called Operator Supply. We're based out here in Hawaii. We do some uniform mods and some small gear stuff. I am a terminally online LARPer. No prior military experience, but this kind of stuff is my train set. So
Your wheelhouse, per se. No, okay. I just like to say that is the smoothest intros we've ever had.
Thank God.
yay, improvement.
Yeah, we're trying to improve, guys. This is episode 4. Technically,
5.
it's episode 5.
5.
Yeah, 1. Yeah.
Unless it's 5.
The
One's
Phantom
in the vault.
podcast will be. That's episode 1. It'll be released one day as a meme.
A secret practice sesh.
the unknowing to I don't know, to us it was not a practice, turns out it was. So
Yeah.
we'll get right into topics today. We're gonna try and do a little bit of a short episode, because we're starting a bit late today. So for starters, we left off last week. We talked about my first week training Ukrainians. We made fun of Mike Dunn. And yeah, that was about it. It was a pretty good episode. Had some fun stories about just how little some of the Ukrainians know or knew, and then just how educated and good some of them were, and how, as a instructor with no technical prior military experience, it was very intimidating teaching people that already had, in some cases, years of combat experience under their belt. So, yeah, definitely go check that episode out for more stuff on that. Today, we're going to pick up where we left off. Let's see. I'll go ahead and get some pictures up on the screen. I cannot remember how to screen share. Yeah, there we go.
Well, we already doxed the fucking thing like 90 times already. I was just about to say.
Yeah, we're gonna try and keep it to a minimum, but you know, things happen. All right, let's drag these over here to the screen. Drag these over. All right. I really need a
Well,
thermometer for this.
while we wait for that, Blake, that's a
What's
beautiful flag you got back there.
Oh, yeah.
You like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
where
check
can
it
I
out.
get one of those? Wait,
Well,
do I
we
have
did a-
one coming in the way?
You do.
Oh
So
my
we
God,
have
is that it right
we have a
there?
limited drop, double-sided Ohana Arms Ukrainian Special Edition flag. We'll do these again later in the future, but this will probably be the only double-sided drop we have. They turned out pretty good. They're super heavy duty. I think we may only have one left. I'll have to go back and check, but I think we sold all. I think we literally have one left. So they're no longer pre-order because we just got them in. If you ordered one, shipments will be getting out to you very soon. This week, actually. Yeah. Alright, display capture. Let's make sure that you guys can see this. Alright, so we're gonna get started with some pictures here while I kind of just start talking. So for our first topic, I know I briefly shared a couple pictures with you guys last week. There's a building in downtown Kyiv that, if I can find a picture of it. So, yeah, there's a building in downtown Kyiv. You guys can see that, audience can see that, there we go. It is an abandoned mental hospital. There is a, kind of the campus for the mental hospital is really in the center of Kyiv. Like, there's really no better way to describe it. It's about 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Medan. And the new hospital they built is still there. And this one is just a couple 100 meters away in the forest there. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, this is an abandoned mental hospital. This is a very common place for how do I make this full screen? For Ukrainian special forces to train at. There's airsoft BBs everywhere. There's paintball splats on the wall. There's graffiti everywhere. You'll also see more prominent teams or groups like FOG, Forward Observation Group, trains here, or has videos of them training Ukrainians here. It's a very well-known facility, per se. And it gives great experience because it's heavily wooded in the surrounding area, and it just kind of gives you a unique training environment that you can't get anywhere else in Kyiv. So, let's see. Can I flip through this? There we go. We're gonna just flip through a few pictures of these. I don't have too many right now. I'll get some more later on. But it has a basement, and I believe over the basement it's 4 or 5 stories. There's elevator shafts. Guys rappel down them. There's a rooftop. There's Elon playing dead. Elon was a guest speaker on our episode, what was that, episode 3? 2 episodes ago, I believe.
Yeah.
He has his stick gun, so as instructors, we had to, yell bang bang and, try to do, play some Op 4 for these guys. There were, I believe at this point, 5 instructors, and, like we talked about last week, we didn't know how long we'd have with these guys, so we were trying to just cram as much, and as dense as possible stuff into a curriculum for these guys. So we taught them everything from small unit tactics, like the super basics, such as, your positions, prone, kneeling, standing, bounding, different squad formations, line, column, wedge, etc. Just really trying to teach them as much as we could, and and that's one thing kind of unique about this war is there's no set, like, biome or, like, environment these guys could be fighting in. I mean, I fought in everything from urban, like, CQB environments all the way up to, like, full-on, hey, this field is 4 kilometers across, like, that, where someone, with a long-distance sniper rifle is an issue, or, whatever. So, there's no set environment, so we really had to try and be as vague and broad as possible, which on the downside means they didn't get, individualized specific training for their environment, but, I mean, don't have much of an option. I thought it was funny, I guess, because I took a second picture of Elon smoking a cigarette while he's dead. um, some pictures from one of the rooftops. You can see 1 o'clock position. That's a shorter section of the building, which gave I mean, quite incredible kind of scenario of, you know, you're pushing out onto a rooftop and there's overhead firing positions from the other rooftop. It just gives very unique experience on the whole situation. A unique environment for CQB. I don't know. These are selfies of me. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Here's it's where there's Elon dead with some guys. Let's see. I thought that was great. I guess it graffiti everywhere. Here's Leeds. He's all over the internet. Go support him. I don't know what the best way to do that right now. It was after our training sessions. Just had a rifle laying around and thought it'd be a cool picture. I think I shared a picture of this basement last week. There's a picture out here. I got it right up here of USSR map of the world, and just look how much is USSR according to them. So it looks like the next day after that training day, we went to the range. Standing here, this great look on my face with an RPK. RPK is probably one of my least favorite weapons ever. It's trying to be almost like a lightweight bar from like World War II. So essentially, the Russians wanted something lightweight that also shot 5.45. They do make RPKs that are 7.62 by 39, but they were made for a very short period of time before they went to 5.45. It does not have hot swappable barrels. Essentially all it is an AK-47 or AK-74 with a thicker receiver and a heavier and longer barrel with a built-in bipod and a longer gas system. Actually, I'm not even sure if the gas system's any longer. I think it might be slightly longer.
I was gonna say, I think it's the same. I think it's the
think you might
same,
be
and
right.
the barrel is just longer.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's literally just a heavier receiver and a heavier barrel. It almost serves there is no real purpose, because you can't compare it to any of like any modern NATO weapons. Because everything we have that feels like, for example, the M249 SAW or the Mini-Me or things like that, like all those are hot swappable barrels that are mag fed and or belt fed. Or, well, I should say belt fed and or mag fed. This is strictly mag fed, and yeah, it's not a great weapon. Yeah, it takes longer to overheat, but it's just typically I never found it the extra weight and the longer mags and just the awkward, just everything about it worth it. So having a range day. We're having this is a live fire range day. Well, I guess that's what a range day is. Right here we're teaching them bounding drills. So you can see in the kind of background is a blurry dude pushing up, while in the foreground there's a guy holding position. You know, this isn't the most realistic thing of the fact if we were having them yell, well, the Ukrainian equivalent of, you know, cover me while I move. I've got you covered. And then moving. So what we were essentially trying to do is, I mean, the same reason, you know, I guess like in basic training or like our senior military RTC homies, you know, we have to yell it, you know, at top of our lungs while screaming bang bang. And what that does is it ingrains in our heads the necessity for essentially it's a two-way handshake of communication. So you're never bounding while you're not covered. Like, that's essentially all it's trying to communicate. Once you work with your team long enough, you just kind of get to that flow state where it is kind of irrelevant. Obviously, that communication's still important, but it's not going to be, you know, in the middle of a firefight, you're not going to be yelling to your partner necessarily, cover me while I move, I've got you, you know. Just trying to ingrain in them the principle of that. Let's see, I, for some reason, thought this clock was kind of artsy. hanging on the wall. I'm gonna do my best not to dox anyone. This. Here's me, holding a PKM. That was the first PKM I'd ever shot. Thought it was pretty sick. Let's see, what else we got? I don't know what this picture is. Was I taking a picture of the Hilux? Oh, it's a Hilux with a Dishka mount in the back. I guess I thought that was really cool. I mean, it still is.
What could have been here?
Yeah. Thanks, you know, not the EPA, whoever restricts vehicle imports.
I think it
Found-
was the EPA.
Was it the? I kind of thought so at first, but now I don't remember.
Yeah.
Found myself a little ice cream sandwich here. Went to a BMW dealership. I thought this was cool because, like I think Blake said earlier, we worked together. We're both BMW techs, so thought that was pretty cool. We had a kind of like a business meeting in this, or not? Did we have a? I think we actually met some people here to talk about some stuff. Let's see. The next day I went out to Sumi. So Sumi is here. I'll pull up the map. Sumi, Ukraine. Maps. Also, fun fact, I got a little Brownells tab open right here. They dropped the BRN 180 and new links 13.9 and 14.5.
No, don't tell them.
Without-
Wait till I can buy one.
Dude, we have
Stop.
like a whole like 2 viewers. By the time anyone actually watches this, we'll have them by now. So yeah, and check it out. It comes without a muzzle attachment. Base Brownells.
Based Brownells.
All right, so Sumi,
I'd like to go
here's
ahead and say, I'd like to say we aren't endorsed by Brownells. We just fucks with them heavily.
yeah. Get shout out to Brownells though. We'd love a sponsorship. Send me 180s in exchange for a honest review, I suppose. I don't know. We do like their products though. They're good guys. So here's Sumi. Here's the border of Ukraine, the dark line. Let me make sure everyone can still see this, right? I know y'all can, or the audience can. I assume y'all
No,
can.
no, you're good.
Yeah, I can see it.
So dark gray line is the border of Ukraine and Russia. Well, the border of Ukraine technically. Russia's right here. So if we zoom out, here's Kyiv, here's Dnipro, Ternopil, Lviv, Donetsk, Kharkiv. So it's literally on the border. So this isn't going to be exact. This is going to just be me kind of drawing a line. So at the beginning of the war, not a special military operation, the Russians kind of punched through all this area around Kyiv. Well, really Kharkiv. So I think they kind of, the most southern line was around Kharkiv. So essentially where I'm kind of circling with my mouse was more or less all, not necessarily controlled, but invaded by Russia. Sumi was quite just decimated. It's a mid-sized city. Probably you could compare it to what would be some cities that it's smaller than Kharkiv. And obviously smaller than like Kyiv. It's maybe like Ternopil size. Ternopil's a bit of a touristy city though. Sumi is not. All that to say, it was pretty decimated when the Russians started kind of falling back from Kyiv. Sumi was one of the last cities that they kind of held on to for a little while. Within literally a few days of them retreating out of Sumi, I went down there with a volunteer to hand out some everything from just clothes to military equipment, underwear, you name it. It was all donated by some British retired, I believe they're all retired, some British SOF guys. Shout out to them. They actually wrote some notes in there for the Ukrainians, and it was pretty hardcore. Shout out to them. They donated a lot of quality gear. So here's some. Yeah, I guess I'll just quickly flip through all these because there's nothing bad in these. So this is us just kind of leaving Kyiv, headed there. This is my first time. It was not my. I suppose it was not my first time crossing the Dnipro River. We talked about that a little bit when we got held as guests, not prisoners. I think we talked about that in episode 2. Yeah, I believe that was episode 2. And we got taken over to the other bank for just a few minutes.
Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah, it was a self-heating coffee.
What?
So I forget exactly how it works, but essentially you like do this some kind of I did end up translating and reading it because this was mind-boggling that they actually were able to get these during the war. Because this was only, like we talked about also a few weeks ago, this was only a couple weeks after the Russians left Kyiv. So, but yeah, essentially, you crack open like this kind of heater that's on the bottom of this like mug, and it heats itself. So you have hot coffee. Super cool. I don't think we have this in the States.
Oh.
I really loved hot dogs there. They're not U.S. styled hot dogs. They're great for road trips.
That hot dog was a little sus, brother.
Nah, dude, they're great. Much better, ironically, much better quality. There's also Kyiv. KFC obviously closed at this time. Here's a checkpoint we're driving through. It looks like I probably put my camera down so I didn't get yelled at or questioned. Fields as far as the eye can see. Like I'm from South Carolina, a farming state nonetheless. I thought I'd seen some big fields until I went to Ukraine. Apartment complexes straight out of like freaking like Daisy or Tarkov or Stalker. Yeah, thank you. I was trying to think of that one. I thought this one was funny because it was multicolored. It looks like
say hi on it. What does that say?
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, there's an H. Well, H and that would be an N. So I'm not entirely sure.
No.
No. Yeah, I don't know. These were under construction, not at this time, but pre-war, and then construction stopped. That vaporwave or vaporware painting on the fence. This is Nova Poshta. This would be equivalent to like the UPS or FedEx of Ukraine. UPS does operate in Ukraine, so I guess this would be considered like FedEx. I don't know why I took pictures of some of this. The little villages are adorable. A checkpoint with, I don't know what's in the back of that truck. I zoomed in for some reason.
That's a deer blind.
It's a deer blind.
I'm just fucking with you.
These trenches, this is on the outskirts of Kyiv, so these were dug literally immediately after I think the Russians dipped out. So if they reinvaded. It looks like somebody's living out of like a tank. If y'all, not a tanker, like a tanker, like for fluids or something. The green thing in the middle. I'll zoom in. Like there's a freaking door on it. I assume that's why I took the picture.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's like a plane fuselage or like a tanker for something, but yeah, I guess it looked like to me someone's living out of it, so I snapped a picture. So right in here, I remember this part. I don't know, something along the lines of there were like grads stuck in this field, and because some of the grads don't explode. In fact, the actual body of not the grads, I mean some of those too, but some of the cruise missiles like don't explode. So the bomblets or whatever, drop out of I guess you could say the body of it, and the body just sticks into the ground. And I thought that was pretty cool because, well, not cool, but whatever. They were sticking out of the ground, and like Ukrainian volunteer EOD was actively out there, pulling them out of the ground and demining some of the the bomblets that didn't explode. Yeah, this picture doesn't show any faces. We were with a journalist. We took a journalist out there with us. She was super sweet and nice. She was writing was it a documentary? I don't remember what she was doing. But yeah, super sweet lady. The guy driving, this was his personal truck that he drove from the UK to pass out some of the kit from
Oh wow.
his, the British, former British SOF guys. This guy was a solid dude. Super cool.
Mitsubishi made a truck.
Yeah, it's called the L200. It's their equivalent of a Hilux.
Pretty dope.
Those things go hard, dude. I
High-speed
drove
too?
some over there. Yeah. It might even be a
Nice.
6. I don't remember if it's a 5 or 6, but the things
Hmm.
move. They're super reliable. It's a diesel. It's literally just Mitsubishi Hilux.
That's why we didn't get the Hilux in America. That's right. The good ones were diesel, and they just didn't meet EPA regulations going into what, early 2000s.
Heck if I know, dude. I mean, we still don't have any Toyota diesels over here yet.
Sad.
Just more
We
random
apparently got a Chevy
pictures.
Cruze, though.
This I thought this was hilarious. This farmer was still out, like, taking care of his crops. Like, just, you know, this is literally, I don't know, a week or less from the Russians pulling out of this spot. I assume we're probably about halfway to Sumi at this point. And he's just out there, like, you know, spraying his field.
I'm sure he didn't even stop working.
No, some of these farmers didn't, and that's actually really sad too, because a lot of their farm equipment was like blown up, damaged. A lot of the fields are
Right.
mined. Like, I mean, there's still farmers like just out, you know, out and about. I'm pretty sure there were some stories of just farmers like running over just unexploded ordnance in the middle of their field, just
Fuck.
trying to take care of their crops. Which for the record, that's why a lot of people are, you know, upset about cluster munitions and the U.S. sending them and how we're committing war crimes. Russia nor Ukraine signed the Geneva Convention, or at least to my knowledge, or from my understanding, at all. But especially the part on the cluster munitions. The original ban on cluster munitions was put into effect due to low yields. I don't remember the exact numbers, but even in today's war, Russian cluster munitions have a somewhere in the ballpark of like a 60 to 75. I think it's 60 to 70% yield, which I don't know exactly how many bomblets, and it obviously depends on
That
which
is
model.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's just hypothetically say, you know, there's 100, you know, bomblets in there, or I don't know what their technical term is. It drops 100, only 60 to 70% of them actually detonate on impact or their timer. The rest just lay out in the field for, or wherever, for farmers and children or to walk over. The US's yield is over 90%. It's, depending on exactly which cluster munition we're referring to, it's up to 98% yields. So, yeah, US cluster munitions much safer than Russian cluster munitions, which by the same, you know, standard and metric makes them much more humane. I mean, if you could call it that. So yeah, little just lesson there on cluster munitions. Just looks something straight out of Tarkov or Daisy. Like so many of these pictures, were just inspired by me saying, "Oh, like I remember this in Tarkov or Daisy or Stalker, villain video game." I thought these trees were gorgeous. Something about these. These are all over Ukraine, like forests like this. At least in South Carolina, we don't have any green, evergreen forests. Excuse me. Quite like these. We have similar ones. You'll find some of these like in North Carolina and like Pisgah and things like that. Let's see. Flip through faster. I don't know what this picture's of.
Is that Chevy Cruze?
It's a
Oh,
Hyundai
no.
Ascent. I wanted a picture of the sign. I have no idea. I guess that says listen, learn, deliver. I don't know the context. I don't know what Adama is. So, yeah. I, for some reason, really wanted this picture, though. Look at that. Look at the size of that field, dude. Like, that's easily 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers across. And some of these fields, like, you would drive past for, like, 10 minutes. Like, just never-ending fields. And it was beautiful and green, too. It just baffled me coming from South Carolina, thinking I had big fields, so just watching never-ending rolling fields. Checkpoint. Very, very well built. And there's a tank sitting on the hill, so, oh yeah, you can see I got, is that a T-55? Where's my, I think that's a T-55. If anyone wants to fact check me on that. Yeah.
Hard to tell from the picture.
Also, look at all of my, once again, Daisy Tarkov Stalker homies. These little like trailers that they tow behind the Urals
Yeah.
or Vazes.
Aren't they like
Um,
generators or something?
So yes, but no. They came in many different shapes and sizes. So the Russian philosophy, well, USSR, Russian, Ukrainian philosophy, kind of is a bit different than NATO's. So, like, for example, in the U.S. Army, we have like the 5 tons or 10 ton, you know, whatever, fill in the blank. And they'll have the shop trucks or, you know, this or that. They're like a Ural's a Ural. Like, yeah, there's tanker Urals, but everything else is just a Ural. So instead of having generator specific Humvees or, you know, shop specific 5 tons, they just have specific trailers that they'll tow behind them. So they have a generator trailer, a shop trailer, a command trailer. It's all done by
That's
trailers.
pretty similar.
So instead of having a vehicle specific, they just have a trailer specific. So, which pros and cons. I mean, trailers can't go everywhere. Obviously, they're built quite well off the ground, and they're meant to be towed behind Urals or VAZs. But yeah. So here is a Ural towing a trailer. I got a kick out of that. Fun fact, I actually remember this. We passed him like 10 miles down the road behind us. Maybe not that far. We passed him a long time ago. The dude is going like 25 kilometers an hour. Like that Ural was just screaming. He was like in a low gear towing this thing. And we stopped for some lunch or something at this like magazine here on the left. And he passed us as we were walking out the door, and we got stuck behind him again. I took a picture of these chips. I was all excited. I was like, "Oh, new chips!" They were disgusting.
Eh,
They look like off-brand Lay's.
Yeah, that was kind of their spinoff chipsters. These were decent. They had them in all different like flavors.
Oh no, those look good.
These were like these were kind of similar to like Ritz, but without salt. They were almost just like flavorless crackers that you'd put in like a soup. I thought they were cookies when I bought them. I was very wrong. Peanut M&Ms. Little log cabin compound. This is actually kind of cool. Had massive solar panels in the back of it. And you can tell just like this would be considered like quite well off, especially for the country. And you can see they still don't have like running water per se, or at least not running water, like sewage. So they still have like an outhouse, despite having massive solar panels. Like having like running sewage out in anything short of in the city is just very expensive and unheard of. Yeah, random city sign. Oh, that's blurry. Snow. First snow I saw in Ukraine. Also, I thought it hilarious that the guards they had a freaking Lancer that they like drove. They like would pile into and shuttle back and forth to like their houses or station wherever they quote unquote like permanently lived at, and one of their personal Lancer Evos.
All-wheel drive. It's good for the snow.
Honestly, yeah. More fields. My other phone. Adorable little village. Beautiful church. I don't know what this is. That's a hardware store. Little playground. Playgrounds are everywhere over there, dude. Like, each little like village or even apartment complex has its own playground. I thought these were so cool. I almost bought one of these over there. It's called a Lada Niva. They're 4-wheel drive like lifted hatchbacks.
Mm-hmm.
They seat 4 people. They have a tiny little storage, seat 4 people uncomfortably. They have a tiny little storage area in the back, and they're 4-wheel drive, and they rip. They've been making them.
Was made?
Yeah, I was about to get to that. They're still made to this day. They were made from like the late 60s, mid 70s or something, all the way up until today, and they just continue to add like new modern features to them. But like it's the exact same body. The new ones actually have like LED lights and whatever. You can pick one of these used over there during the war for like $2,000 US.
Hey, we need to import one.
I'm planning on it actually. That's a goal. I believe there's an IS tank. Not 100% sure. There's tanks on display everywhere over there. I'm surprised the Ukrainians haven't started using them yet, like the Russians have. Checkpoint. So now we're looks like we're actually getting into the outskirts of Sumi. One of the more rural areas or suburb areas. Okay, now so we're in Sumi now, the city of Sumi. I forget what this was. I think this is like their city hall or something. I don't remember. I knew at one point. This is one of my edits. This is actually up on our site, the Ohana Arms site, and some places. This is a Epicenter K. So this is very similar to like Interchange on Tarkov. So in Russia there's a there's a franchise called like Super Mall or something like that. In Ukraine their equivalent is Epicenter K. They're huge. Many of them across the country are 2 to 3 stories tall. And it'll be like the equivalent of like a Lowe's or Home Depot, except bigger. Like just a huge just hardware store. And then they'll have a like an electronics store, and then they'll have like an equivalent of a grocery store and like a Walmart. Or like a Target. A lot of them also are like malls that have little kiosks and stuff in them too. They're huge, dude. Picture of us training some guy. I guess I was maybe editing this while we were driving, because this is not in the timeline. Yeah, I guess I was literally editing that while we were driving. Just more pictures of stuff. Actually, that may have not been the city of Sumi. It was one of the cities. Here's BTR. First BTR I think I saw, so got a picture of it. Bunch of barns. Absolute destruction here. You can see I took a picture of this. If you zoom in, the Russians actually tried breaking into it. You can see where they pried all around the door. Have massive craters in the middle of the road from artillery. If I remember correctly, I think this actually did end up with 1 or 2 civilian casualties during this. Also, I would just like to mention these are all civilian buildings. Civilian shops. There's a Russian tank that got absolutely smoked. And if I remember correctly, the story goes something along the lines of like the BTR got hit and then the tank tried to pull up to assist, and then they both got smoked. Sumi, 58 kilometers. So, yeah, the city that I just shared in the pictures was, in fact, not Sumi. Because, here's a street sign that was standing up. This is inside the bunker next to the tank. Here's the BTR. Got absolutely smoked. Let's see. If I remember correctly, there were bodies in one of these. Here's a Russian MRE. First time I saw one of those. And this is a newer tank, too. I assume this is probably like a T-80. It's at least a T-72 with upgrades. Could be a T-80. You can actually see how it just melted. Like, literally, everything's melted inside. Pop to the top. Very, very common for Russian tanks due to the autoloader. And it looks like this one was a newer one because it looks like these had ERA panels on them. So if you see these bolts here, where it looks like ERA panels were attached here. So this would have been probably a newer tank that was lost probably at the beginning of the invasion. How many pictures did I take of this thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Another one as well.
Another. I don't know what this is. It's not a BTR. It's not a BMP. Well, I say it's not a BMP. It could be like a BMD. There's so many different like light infantry. Frigging artillery went straight through that building.
Not the diner, bro.
I believe this one is actually a cap. If I remember correctly, this is a captured one that was now just sitting there. Once again, looks like a newer one. It doesn't appear to be It doesn't appear to be identical to the other one, blown up one, but yeah. Apartment complex got shelled and caught on fire. You can see an actual artillery hole in the basement right there. Went straight through. Caught the building. And it's actually, oh, it's still smoking. You can see the smoke in the picture.
Yeah.
That's not just glare. This looks like a magazine. Because you can see on the left, you can see a Kyivstar, like phone plan. So, right there. So, and Vodafone. So it looks like this is just a shop. And bear in mind, like, insurance and stuff does not exactly work the same there as it does in the U.S. Not to say that insurance isn't a scam in the U.S. It's just, even if these people did have insurance, like, essentially they've lost everything.
Yeah.
These are mom and pop shops.
Insurance here doesn't cover war either.
Yeah. And insurance is a scam. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But yeah, like, I know we might laugh or joke, make some light comments about, some lighthearted comments about these pictures and stuff, but essentially these people did lose everything in this. It's really sad and heartbreaking. You can see this is just like Tank Alley, like you can see all the tracks and stuff. A actual like tank fight did happen here. I actually have a little quick story for this. So if you look on the right, there's an artillery cannon. I don't know Russia's or Ukrainians' artillery pieces, so and I don't have encyclopedia next to me, but yeah, howitzer right there. So these, once again, all civilian structures. That's not to say that combatants of either side weren't fighting out of them, but these are people's houses. If we zoom into this side, I wonder if I have a picture of her. So these are apartments right here. Like, see where this red bike's leaning up against. This, I didn't, like, break down, tears fall on the floor, but, dude, this messed me up. This is the first time me seeing, like, fresh combat stuff. And how it impacted civilian life. This lady lived, in this apartment complex. Or, one of these apartments was hers. And, there is no roof. You can't see it really good in the video. Or in the pictures, but, there's no roof on it. Like, everything's lost. There's kids' stuffed animals and toys laying all here in the rubble. And, this lady was trying her best to, I guess, just clean out her apartment, and she had like a 5-gallon bucket that probably every 3, 4, 5 minutes she would go inside and fill up with, just burned toys, debris, belongings, and come and just dump it out, in the rubble piles. And, she was just trying to clean up her house, get it, I guess, to where she could just live in it. Maybe she didn't want to be reminded of, I don't know, but yeah, that was really heartbreaking to see. There's just shells everywhere, tank shells everywhere. That howitzer had like dozens of, I assume would be like Russian equivalent of like 155 howitzer shells just piled up around it. Shrapnel everywhere. There's one of the shell casings. Just crates of spent brass ammo, just piles of stuff. I forgot what these were. I looked them up. I just don't remember. I actually think I still have a couple saved. They were absolutely blood-soaked. So more than likely in a soldier's pocket. I don't remember. So this is talking about money here. So like, I don't remember if this is like a stamp or like the equivalent of like a bond or something. But yeah, it was completely blood-soaked. I picked it up out of a little puddle, a blood puddle, where I assume maybe like a body was laying. One of the tank wheels. Artillery, a tank shell actually ripped through like this literal front door and just kept on cruising. Like it blew through like 3 walls back there. kept on driving. We actually handed out a bunch of, we literally pulled up, and, the guy who drove his truck from UK who's delivering the goods literally just put his tailgate down and was like, just started, like, handing out gear to soldiers. Soldiers started running up asking if he had underwear or socks or this or that, and he's just opening boxes up, tossing people socks, underwear, a plate carrier, whatever they needed. And these were, you know, guys on essentially the front, at the time. There's also, you can't see it, I guess I didn't get a picture of it. To the right side, right just out of frame, there was a bank and the only store in the whole town that was open that actually kind of both went unscathed. Both had just opened back up, and there was probably 150 people standing in line at the bank to try to withdraw money. So then they could go next door into the only magazine, which is a Ukrainian, like a small store, to buy groceries. And it was heartbreaking. Like, I mean, we're talking 70, 80, 90-year-old women, like, kind of pushing their walker in the line, standing in line for hours just to try to withdraw money from the bank to then stand in another line 100 people long to go buy groceries that I'm sure would have been out by the time they got in line. People were literally starving, didn't have food. We had people ask us for food. Unfortunately, we didn't have any. A lot of their vehicles and cars were destroyed, so it's not like, you know, oh, you should just hop on the train or hop into a car and drive to the next city. Like, most of these people had no means of getting anything. Let's see. Another destroyed apartment building. This is one of the rockets that hit it. One rocket went, like, right through the roof. Maybe it's two. And then the other one left a crater right out front. There were still, like, clothes drying on clotheslines in the building and stuff. Once again, like, toys scattered everywhere, belongings scattered everywhere. Yeah, you can see, like, the damage. Civilians were hurt in this one. The mayor was actually showing us around to this, because we had the journalist with us, and she was documenting all of this, and he walked us around the city. He was walking around, checking on people in the city, asking how they were and what they could try to do to help. And he saw us, and, I mean, we're Westerners, we looked the part. He took us to this rail station. This is what's left of it. Russians hit it with artillery. I mean, obviously rail stations are common targets in wars, always have been since the beginning of railways. Fun fact, so what we're looking at here was an entire village, like an entire neighborhood, flattened, like gone.
Damn.
These were all houses, obviously, but like these were houses were all here. They're completely gone. So I believe Russia actually released a statement or something for this. I'm trying to remember exactly like what happened, but from my understanding, if I'm remembering, this was a long time ago, but if I remember correctly, they claimed they were trying to hit the power station, which we'll get to in just a minute in the pit photos, and this was like 3 kilometers away from the power station.
It's a really big miscalculation.
Yep, just completely decimated everything in their path.
Math hard.
China still on like the shelves. This was, I think I took a picture of this. This was a guy's blacksmith shop.
That's a lot of artillery that they dropped on that place.
Oh yeah, it's gone. Like, it's gone. Some of these craters, I think I have a picture of me standing in the crater, and it's like 6 feet deep.
Gosh.
This is a blacksmith shop. If I remember, I kind of went and looked around inside. I think he, like, worked on farm equipment. Like, made and built farm equipment. You can see his, like, press, his hammer press. I don't know blacksmithing terms, but his press, I assume this would be, like, his, forge. Because it has the hood and everything.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Obviously his, whatever.
Anvil.
Yeah, thank you. His anvil there. And all of his tools still hanging on the wall. A house. More houses. I don't remember what that is. But you can see the crater out front. The bike still sitting there. massive crater. So now we are at is this the power station? I don't remember. This might be the power station. Yeah, power station. Yeah, so this power station, they did end up hitting it, obviously. It knocked out power for, like, multiple villages and surrounding cities. Well, not cities, but, I mean, for all intents and
Townships.
purposes.
Towns.
Yeah, well, not a village. I guess you could call it a town. Completely just demolished, like, destroyed. Obviously, once again, you know, power stations are important, you know, key targets in war. Like, I mean, that hasn't changed. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying, you know, they shouldn't have hit, you know, a power station, but yeah. The mayor was showing us all this, shrapnel stuck in that. Literally, shell went right through.
Oh, looks like the power station was coal powered.
Civilians were killed in this. Here's a little, I assume this is a mural for them, if I remember. Two of, like, the engineers or whatever, were killed. And then one injured, if I remember correctly. Civilians. And I mean, I'm not saying, you know, Russia should or shouldn't, you know, but it's still heartbreaking. I mean, war sucks. War's rough. And, I mean, my heart goes out to the families. This was a piece of shrapnel, went, obviously, like, keyholed, I guess you could say. Thought it was, I guess, cool, or caught my attention, because that's a thick pipe that it, like, melted through. Oil sprayed one of the oil lines. Hydraulic, I assume, hydraulic lines got busted. Steel beams. Insert, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
Clearly, artillery doesn't either.
The railway, was like, I don't know if you'd call it buckled, but, you could tell it was, like, shifted. So this was a, I remember. So, okay. So here's the railway. Roughly, probably about 100 meters, 150 meters to the 11 o'clock position is this tree. What is in so the foreground, or we'll start with the background. The background is a piece of railway, like the railroad, like the steel part. It was obviously exploded, and it flew 150 meters through the air, hit the foreground tree, ricocheted, and then impaled itself into the background tree.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I don't know what velocity it was moving at to travel that far and then do that, but yeah, thought that was impressive. I have no idea what this is.
Looks like food.
Oh, it's a shawarma. So some kind of,
A
it's
Russian
a snack.
shawarma?
No, this is Mr. Grill. This was just like a gas station or something. I was probably taking pictures of this to translate it, because you can see the first angle and then the second angle. Alright, I'm getting up to where I can dock somebody.
Man,
All right,
were
we're back-
really
we're back in
smacking all
Kyiv.
them blankets. Holy crap! That's like the third picture of them.
Oh, dude, I mean, that's like all you could buy. Like, I mean, there's no hot food. Like, there were no restaurants. So it's like if we wanted to eat on the road, you just hope a gas station has a hot dog, and that's what you eat.
Man, you guys are out there being like truck drivers.
Let's see. All right, we're back in Kyiv. Looks like this is range day. We're headed to the range right now. So this is the next morning. We're headed to the range with the guys. I need to be careful.
Do you remember what you were riding in? Looks like a hearse.
No, this would have been like a Volkswagen van.
Okay.
In fact, I have pictures of us leaving, so I know that's exactly what it is. Me talking to I don't know. Do I have faces blurred on any of these?
Before we continue, let's talk about this guy's
spray painted AK with a suppressor. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a good guy. He's still alive. He's fine.
Was he a regular or was he a volunteer?
He was a TDF with combat experience.
Okay. That makes sense.
Are
Um,
we talking
he knew it
about
was
him in
up.
the past tense if he's still alive? Is.
Here, yeah. Well, I guess in this photo, he is still alive, but yeah.
Come on, man. We're American. We don't
He
speak English
is
that well.
a TD. Well, I don't know if he still is TDF. I still keep up with him. He's doing good. Got a picture of him the other day saying hi. I don't know. I can't tell if faces are blurred. Oh wait, here I can make icons bigger. Now we'll skip through some stuff. Can I hold on? View extra large icons. I gotta do some scrolling to catch up.
That patch, though.
That's my Alpha Group
Hilarious.
patch. That was the one that was given to me by the Alpha Group commander when we were supposed to go to Bucho with them. I think I talked about that last week. Yeah, none of these pictures have faces blurred. Here's a great, here, we can post, or we can show these. Oh, hold on, I need to close out of some of these. Whoop. Hello?
Here.
Why is this bugging out?
Come on. You got this.
My desktop's frozen, dude. Oh, where'd Ian go? I just realized he's not in here.
Probably had to go get some TP for his bunghole, if you know what I mean.
I could.
I
I
don't
explore
understand.
Windows frozen.
Well, since we're at this point and we're ready for you,
Alright, I think we're back up.
are we good?
It's like
Okay.
Explorer. It's like Windows Explorer, like, you know, your desktop and everything just froze.
Yeah, it probably gonna take a
Oh,
second.
he's back.
Oh, look at that. We said his name enough. He came back like Beetlejuice. So, man, I've seen, fuck, you've had like 4 or 5 pictures of the things. So, what flavors were they? Were they just like a cheese-filled hot dog?
Talking about
or
hot
like
dogs?
something like that? Yeah, man, that stuff
you
actually
you
looks
could
pretty
get them
good.
like sausage ones, hot dog ones. They were great, and they were always like, in comparison to American hot dogs, great quality.
Ooh. So, like, were
like-
they on a roller grill or were they like
Yep.
frozen? Oh, so they actually had them on roller grills?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a bun that like you slide it into, and it's a roller grill, and they pull it out and stick it in. Yeah.
What?
Ukrainian
Um,
Lizzie.
All right, we're back to pictures. Here's me, Elon, and Leeds. You met Elon a couple weeks ago, like we've talked about a couple times.
With the fucking Bass Pro hat on.
Yep.
True
So a
American.
funny story, Elon. I hope you watch this one day. I know we've talked about this, but when the other individual I met on the plane or in the airport, we started hanging out in Poland, and then we met up with Elon, who I had already talked to on Discord and stuff. We meet up with him, and Elon gets out of the car with a purple North Face dry bag, a Bass Pro hat, and some other stuff, with like his earrings in, and just like looked like he literally just stepped out of Portland. And we laughed at him. And yep, it turned out that he became one of my best friends over there. So,
Bro,
Yep.
the purple Jansport is crazy.
bro, it was a North Face. It was a dry bag. I mean, it was an expensive bag, and it did its purpose. He went home with it. It stayed in
man.
one piece.
Wait,
Um,
so North Face dry bags, war-proof, good to go?
The
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
let's see, I can't share that picture. Oh wait, here's us sitting in the back of that same Volkswagen van. We drove through Kyiv like this. Here's one of this is a belt I got from Sumi. I think I still have that actually. Just kind of a reminder of that. This is one of the guys. He's probably fine if I mention him. But I'll talk to him first. He is one of on our training team. Him and I are still great friends. He's doing good work right now. Here's some blurred faces. Range day. Center one and far left one are both Ukrainian. They're like lifelong best friends. It's hilarious. They're awesome. The middle one's like huge and does like all the heavy lifting, and they were able to sign up and volunteer in a unit together, and they're still fighting together out to this day. It's hilarious. The middle one has a ACAB tattoo on his neck, and it is the greatest thing ever. We were talking about one day. I was like,
it
"Your
like actually says ACAB,
It's
or is it 1312?
It's 1312. And I asked him, I was like, "What's your tattoo?" And he told me, he was like, ACAB, and I was like, "Yeah." I laughed so hard. We still joke about it. He's awesome.
Well, yeah,
those two
brother.
best friends take like awesome care of each other. Like they've been best friends for years. They signed up, they enlisted together, and they're still fighting. Oh, me and Leeds. My dinner. This is all. If I remember correctly, this is all the bread we had left, and then I accidentally burnt it, and I refused to throw it away, so I ate burnt bread with cut up salami and cheese and egg and ramen.
Is that American cheese?
No, that's whatever. No, it's not American. It's whatever cheese. I don't know.
Excuse me for being
Somebody gave me this buffalo jacket. Actually, it was from the SOF, the British SOF donation guys. I really needed a cold weather jacket, and they gave that to me, or it was in the donation bin. So appreciate that. Shout out to them. We found this Italian restaurant that was open.
that looks good.
They were doing like carry out only, but those two best friends in the last picture said, no, we have to take you to this restaurant. They let us eat there. And or actually, this might be Mafia. This is Mafia. So this is kind of a well-known, cheap but kind of fancy environment. It's a small chain in Kyiv. It's called Mafia. Great food. They were open during the war. I really enjoyed it. It was the first place in Ukraine. They asked me if I wanted ice with my drink, because you don't drink cold drinks in Ukraine. And they're like, "Do you want ice?" And I was like, "Yes, please."
Please, God.
We were having a barbecue. The soldiers had like they all kind of pulled some money together and had a barbecue. It was great.
Boy, them glizzies are long as hell.
8 inches. That's 8 inches, right? Right?
That's 8 inches? That's 8 inches? Jesus.
Some random pictures of
that looks
alcohols. Dude, this guy had this sick bike.
What is that?
Sick
Oh,
bike.
man,
It's
What
awesome.
is that?
I saw it and I was like, no effing
It looks
way. I
like
gotta
the
get
bike from
pictures of this.
Terminator, dude.
That's a dope ass scrambler.
Like, I was so excited about this. I wanted him to
Hell
ride it. He
yeah.
was like, I'll take you on a ride, and then we ended up just forgetting about it. But dude,
With this
like, and look at the oil cooler,
prop
like,
drive too.
yeah. Like, this thing, I guarantee you rips. So, yeah.
Oh, it is a Beamer motor. That's
Yeah,
a BMW
it's like an
phone.
actual
Yeah.
Beamer motor.
Yeah, it's an R75. Yeah.
It's like a Mad Max Beamer. It's so sick.
That fuel tank is crazy.
Look at the welds.
I love how you left
the
them- I
wheel
love how
center
you left
cap
them raw.
welded into the tank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Amazing.
like freaking sick, dude.
that does
Yo,
look
Ukrainian bike
Oh,
guy. 10
Sorry, I
out of 10.
doxed that individual. Smoked a cigar that night or day or whatever. Probably my first cigar in a
First
while.
one?
No, not my first one. Yeah, I was like, "Hey, look at me, I'm smoking a cigar." This is Georgian food. Once again, it's delicious. Go try it. I think this is one of the they had just opened inside. They only did takeout or like takeaway, I guess is what it's called there. Cool environment. It's called Georgia. It's literally a 2-minute walk from Madon Square. Great food. Go check it out. Sriracha. I got all excited. I found sriracha sauce. We had to. This was in one of the bigger grocery stores that we had to like really go find. And I'll show you more pictures. Like what I found. I got all excited. I had to take a picture. In fact, I think I sent you all this picture, and I was like, "Look."
Oh yeah.
Canned beef.
I also sent you guys this picture. So this is a mall, except it's literally dead inside, except for this grocery store. It's the only thing open. And I took this picture solely for the Tarkov extract sign. I was like, guys, look, I'm in Interchange, because the next picture is this, and it's literally like I was in the Interchange mall.
I remember you sending me these pictures.
I was like, dude, this is so exciting. Also, this is the first place, like, it literally just looks like Interchange. Like, there's the Apteca, which is a pharmacy. Well, technically, it doesn't. It just means like medical. It could be a doctor, hospital, whatever. But, yeah, there's a store like it literally just looks like interchange. We bought an entire case of Red Bull. This is one of the only places we found that had a large quantity of Red Bull that we didn't feel bad for buying like more than one. Long sus hallway that the like maintenance hallway that the doors are just open on. Yeah, if this doesn't give you interchange vibes, I don't know what does. Like the parking garage and everything. This is the cursed bridge that we're about to drive under. More on that in a second. That's the title of this episode. I found a Playboy for one of my buddies. I have a Spirit friend that used to work for Spiritus that sent us some donation stuff from Spiritus. And he was like, I was like, yeah, let me pay you back or whatever. He's like, find me a Ukrainian Playboy, and I was like, bet. And I found the one that was literally released right before the invasion.
What?
Fun fact: McDonald's was closed at this time, all of them. However, they were contracted out specifically to make food for the military, so they would like there's a unit list, so like they'd go down the list. We finally got every time I would joke at lunch. I was like, they like lunch is here, food's here, and I was like, is it McDonald's? Like just joking, like I didn't even know that they were open for military, and they were like, no, it's chicken. This is better than McDonald's. And they're like, you Americans and your McDonald's or whatever. It was always like, it was like this running joke between me and the guys. And then I walked down for food and I'm like, is it McDonald's? And he's like, no.
Actually.
And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yes, this is McDonald's. I'm like, no, you're joking. And he's like, yeah, I'm joking. And then he's like, I have a gift for you. And he hands me a McDonald's box. I was like, oh, no way. And then, yeah, and it was kind of sad. They refused to eat the leftovers. Like, normally there would always be, like, a couple leftover meals. And, they were like, thank you for training us. You all get to take the extra burgers. And we're like, no, we're not taking, like, y'all's food. Like, we have money. I mean, we're volunteer, but we have some money. Like, we can go buy our own food. They're like, no. This is for you guys. They were like, thank you. You get the McDonald's. It was really, really sweet. They refused to not let us take it. It made, like, my entire week getting a cheeseburger. We went and shot at this, like, I don't even know. This was, like, a storage unit complex that some random that one guy owned. It was like the equivalent of, like, oh, yeah, I have a friend of a friend whose uncle owns some property. And they would hide the key for us. And they're like, go shoot anytime. And so they set up tires, and we would just go shoot in this, like, random place.
Based.
Have some cool videos of shooting. Let's see.
This is where you have the video of you shooting tracers, right?
That's a different range. That's in a warehouse. I do have some
that's
videos
the first warehouse, yeah.
This was a captured Russian guitar the guys were proud of. They were like, we found this on position. RPGs, just like casually stand in the corner. This is
a VOG.
Yeah. And to me at the beginning, like I hadn't seen, combat yet at this point in the war, and I was like, oh, these are so cool, like this is some cool stuff. And I mean it was just
that a 25 millimeter or was it a
those are like I don't remember the exact size, it's like 30 millimeter. More Georgian. Once again, this is one of the only restaurants that was actually open. Like, I mean, you could count on like a single hand the amount of like restaurants in Kyiv that were open at this time.
Bro, that steak looks so good though.
I took a picture of the receipt. This is like $75, and I think like
all that for $75.
Yeah, like I think like this literally like 10 of us ate food for like $75.
Holy shit!
In fact, I think that's probably more about 50. Yeah, that's 50 because at the time Hrivna would have been about 4,500 per $100. So yeah, this is about $50. Like 10 of us ate for that much, and it was all like we ate like a huge meal. I got 2 entrees. Like homies got steaks and stuff like that. Sick AMG wagon. A Russian MRE. Some of the guys in the unit captured and brought for us to try. We all started like splitting different things. There's this cool thing. They have bacon pate in there. I wasn't a huge fan. Everyone else loved it. I took this because it looked like the water filters on Tarkov.
I 511 stuff. What the fuck?
No, it's a thin blue line. I had to get a picture of this. It's American thin blue line flags. My thin blue balls.
Oh lord.
I have no idea what this is. Some receipt, I guess. I was probably trying to translate this. Karpatska, like, I don't know what this is. That's the post office. The, like, post office of the Ukraine. That's USPS. Open back up. There's a line of, like, 150 people. I just decided to go up to ask a couple of them, and some have been staying in line for, like, 6 hours. Like, they'd go at, like, 04, 05 in the morning to try and get in line just so they could get their packages. And a lot of it was, soldiers' wives and stuff. So they could get, supplies from out of country for their soldiers.
It is ridiculous.
I don't want to show those, so I... My homie Elon. So this is a hilltop that oversees one of the major interstates, or, like, highways going in and out of Kyiv, that the Ukrainians just dug in on. And, we were just taking pictures or whatever, and Elon had a shovel and a cigarette, and it looked hilarious.
Elon always gotta have a square.
What's still funny is, like, still got his earrings in. He's got a smock, a British smock on. Yep. A fox squirrel. This random massive hole, like, probably 5-6 stories deep. I don't know what it's for.
Jesus.
Like, oh, we got the Ultimas on, the, MCB Ultimas. I had this great idea that I would start making my own, armbands, because I hated the tape. Like, every time the color changed, every time I had to wash my shirt. Fun fact, tape was in, like, short supply, so I bought green felt, and I actually, like, punched holes in it, stitched it all together, and made reusable armbands.
Nice.
Ingenuity. Some random, corgi.
Corgi.
I sent
Speaking
it over
of
to a
that-
corgi.
Henry.
More
here.
Georgian. This is, our commander found a, one of
Come here,
his
boy.
friends. We had to move apartments or whatever, and so, he, one of his friends was a chick, and she was like, y'all can stay with us, so 4 or 5 of us dudes took up her living room. She was super sweet and nice.
Damn, little boy.
Sorry. Let's see.
Right.
I bought some board games. Here's my put together AK setup. I don't know why I took a picture of it then. You can go to the market and buy these, like, fish.
That don't look sanitary, dog. I'll be honest with you. That do not look sanitary.
Let's see. Thought that was pretty cool. I don't know where this is. I think that's probably safe to share. Just like
Ooh.
croissants. I don't remember. Oh, there was a little tiny shop in the base of these apartments. I stocked up on some food, some, like, snacks to take to the to the front. This lemonade, fun fact. So it's, like, super sweet. Lemonade. It would be like equivalent of, oh, I don't even know. It almost tastes like, I could explain, like, Chick-fil-A lemonade. Let's see. So, my next adventure is, going back to Lviv, because a certain fat, chubby individual couldn't manage to figure out trains and didn't feel like it or something, so, he asked me to meet him in Kyiv. There's a wild horse. No idea whose phone number that is. So I'm back in the train station. That was the toilet I had to freaking poop in, and I chose not to. And I was like, no.
I think we all could have went without seeing that, brother.
Bro, I don't know what's in this phone.
I think we
I got a
all went
pizza.
without seeing
There's this great pizza place in in Lviv. It was open. This couple is sleeping on top of each other at the train station. It was adorable. Now we have that individual's plate carrier. But wait, there's more. That individual. I go hard, brother.
It is certainly an individual.
Or 2 individuals, depending on what angle. This is a shout out to my Spiritus homie. You know who you are. You don't work there anymore, that's fine. He sent us a care package of stuff. An LV-119, a bank robber, some other stuff we needed.
More
Awesome.
like a dank robber, am I right?
I got him. Also, check out this great photo of me. I don't know why I took this.
What that mouth do?
All right.
Oh, no.
We had a Monopoly game. I bought this little mini Monopoly set. I still have it. Brought it to the States. It's adorable. That's the rules. I need to translate them. I was eating some bread, obviously. All right, we're digging. We're teaching the Ukrainians how to dig trenches, because God knows they needed to know how to do it. Let's see. I don't know what photos in here I can show. I'm trying to find some that don't have faces in them. Yeah, we did this all day. Oh, here's me and Elon. Like, we were teaching them how to do it right. We were teaching them, some small unit stuff, like defensive harbors, as they call it, and, well, I guess depending on which country you're from. Yeah, we probably spent like 6 hours just constantly digging. We did it in most of us did it in carriers, because we were trying to make the Ukrainians do it, and we thought it would be silly of having them dig it in kit, and then us stand there and watch, and not do it in kit also, so we dug it.
County job.
Does this have any faces in it? It does. Yeah, we did it all day. We taught them how to set it up, how to camouflage it. We broke them down into battle buddy teams, or like teams, and had each of them dig their own hole. That was a really cool kind of thing, though, because, like, a lot of the stuff we taught them was stuff that actually directly applies to this war. I mean, some of the handbooks we were teaching out of, like, I mean, I went to a military college, I never learned how to dig a freaking trench, like a proper trench. Yeah, we dug foxholes, but it wasn't, like, stuff that I ever thought I'd practically use, and nor do I think half the U.S. Army thinks they'd ever have to be in trench warfare. So, you know, we taught them about, like, grenade sumps and, you know, all the proper stuff, which, ironically, a lot of the stuff we taught them would, if you watch, like, Ukrainian footage or Russian footage, a lot of the stuff we teach them would actually help and directly apply. Like, how many times do you see, like, grenades, you know, sit at the top of the trench, they're rolling down it, or, you know, not properly camouflaged, the drone finds them, stuff like that. Exit out some of those pictures. All right, let's see. So we'll kind of skip ahead some. I don't want to tie up to how cool Explorer just crashed again. So we'll talk about the Cursed Bridge, I think, next. So actually, while Explorer's rebooting again, I'll go to chat. This is the warehouse we shot in. This is in Kyiv. We were trying to teach the Ukrainians, like, bounding stuff, live fire, instead of just, you know, in practice of them yelling bang bang. And the first time we live, because, you know, not all of them necessarily had the built up trust at this time in us, and, you know, a lot of them questioned, you know, well, how do you guys know what to do? You haven't seen combat, some stuff like that. And, you know, honestly, we didn't have a really good answer. We're just like, hey, we're all gun enthusiasts back home. Some of us train others. Some of us are actual, like, competition or professional shooters. Like, I mean, we're not perfect and we're not combat proven, but we know the skills. And they were like, okay, well, let's show us what you got. And, this was kind of after we were critiquing one of their bounding drills, and one of them wasn't really happy. And so, the commander kind of essentially told him to go kick rocks and shut up. And, was like, yo, want to run one to show him how it's done? And we were like, yeah, let's go. So, here's that footage. So we basically were like, one of the things, I'm like, I'm on the left, Leeds is on the right. Something that they were doing is they were like, you know, we wouldn't run from position to position, we'd crawl, or, you know, do this or that, or, why do we need to run? This is just practice. This kit's too heavy, we can't do this. And, I mean...
Well, if you can't do it now, how are you supposed to do it when
Correct.
Your life is on the line?
And that was something that we were just trying to say, hey, you know, that's not an excuse. So you can see me just absolutely hoofing it. And you can hear, set, moving, cover me while I move, kind of stuff.
I've got no audio on this one.
So he bound forward, then bound back.
You say, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down.
I'm up, he sees me, I'm down!
But he never sees me, because I'm always down.
So now we're bounding back. You can hear them talking in the background, too.
No, we don't have any audio on this one.
Oh. Well, the audience can. I
That's good. I love that for them.
So, fun fact, we messed with James about this until, to this day, leads. He shoots the targets here, and he hits about 20 meters in front of him, the ground. You can see the sparks fly up, and we're like, my guy, and he was like, what? You what, mate? And we made fun of it for that for so long. But yeah, after we did this exercise, it was something about just like, dude, we had several guys come up to us, and they're like, broken English. Wow, thank you. Like, that was so good. That was so fast. We really appreciate you. Like, we had a couple guys apologize to us, like, just straight up apologize. And they were like, no, thank you. We're very grateful. We're happy. And they're like, that was great. And then we had a couple guys. One of the guys was like, can I hold your armor? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he realized that, it was also heavy. And he was like, oh, okay. But yeah, also one of the guys during these, during this whole ordeal of us shooting in this factory, one of the guys we actually helped teach, the dude was good, like really good. And we're like, how did you learn to shoot? He's like, oh, I don't shoot. He was like, I've never shot before. We're like, excuse me? Like, what do you do? And he's like, I'm an airsofter. He spoke decent English. And he was like, I do milsim events, like all over Ukraine. Nice. And I was like, what? Yeah.
Nice.
The dude was literally like a career airsofter. He was like in his mid-20s and had been doing it since he was a teenager. The dude had the fastest reloads, like the fastest time on targets, the fastest, most accurate everything. And it was really we pulled him out of the whole unit, and we're like, we need your help teaching. Because we're having Ukrainians trying to like talk to, that's not how you reload, that's not how you do this. We hold our rifle like this, like as they grip the bottom of their mag. And,
okay, but that's wrong.
We're like, cool, I don't care, you're wrong. And this airsofter gets up, I wish I could remember his name, I have pictures of him somewhere. And he was like explaining to them why and like stuff like this, and it was kind of the same situation, like, some of these guys were like, we've seen combat, you just play airsoft kind of thing. And he goes, okay, yeah. And just outruns everybody. And they're like, okay. It was great. It was awesome. And he was really helpful. I appreciated it all the time that he took just helping us teach. Yeah, it was awesome. Goes to show airsoft and training can, does make a big difference. And while it can't supplement, real live fire training in every way, you can use it as a training aid. So, encourage people.
Before you start that, bro.
Yeah.
I gotta head out.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, sorry, we're
going
a bit late.
I'll be back. No, you're fine. I got some prior engagements I gotta take care of. But, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll be back for next week's episode. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do have one next week. We will not have one the following weekend. But we do have one next week for Labor Day.
Okay. All right. Well, before I head out, I guess I'll say my ending piece for today for our closing statements. I just got one thing to say. If you take the easy path in life, the road will become harder and treacherous if you had just taken the hard road from the beginning.
Dang.
All right. Y'all
what a closing statement. Later, man. Here's some quick videos of us just shooting in the dark. Let's see. There's cool videos of the tracers.
Yeah, boy.
That's a PKM going. You can see how low it is to the ground. It's set up on a bipod. This was a combination of us teaching them, hey, this is what, your site picture should look like at night, and, things like that, to just, all right, blow off some steam, have fun. All right. We'll kind of get through a few more things. Let me check my notes here. Let's see. All right, we'll hit a few more quick topics, and then we'll be done for today. Current events. All right. Trying to catch up on my pictures here. All right, so the cursed bridge. We'll talk about that real quick. So that bridge you can see off in the distance is like a kind of a park that you can walk down the. Well, all this is a park. But you can walk across to a little island on the other side of this walk bridge. There's a checkpoint we just passed. A little barricade, so essentially invading tanks couldn't just drive over the walking bridge. Brave Nation, thought that was cool, got a picture of that. If this doesn't remind you of Tarkov Shoreline, I don't know what does. Little changing station. Oh, is that on Woods too? The little changing station on the beach?
Yeah.
So this is the first time we were there. We just kind of hung out at the park, took some pictures. Nothing too special. I thought this was hilarious. There was a club named the Magic Snail. But yeah, that's the Cursed Bridge. The details behind that are as follows. So the next time we were on the bridge, let's see. We were walking across the bridge, and we hear this massive, sounds like a supersonic, plane flying over us. And then, boom, immediately turn my head, and there's a mushroom cloud over Kyiv. Cool. So, we immediately realizes what happens, and for this week, we were the unit on call for, emergency, first responder response. Technically, we had that week off as far as, not training, but, duties, and our sole duty was to respond to first responder stuff. So, here we see this mushroom cloud, we realize, oh, hey, we're on call. So we were almost across the bridge to the other side. We immediately turn around, sprint all the way back. I might have some videos for it. Stand in the middle of the interstate and flag a car down. I don't think I have... Oh, I have a video of a certain chubby individual, but it also doxes some other people, so we can't show it. Yeah, a certain chubby individual is complaining about, he doesn't know how to do cardio. There's... sadly enough, one of the Ukrainians speaking, was killed in combat, a couple weeks ago. He's a great guy. My condolences to his family. We spent a lot of time with him, and he was a great translator and a great fighter. He helped us teach a lot. So, we flagged a car down on the middle. We stood in the middle of the interstate. We flagged a car down. It was a van that stopped, thank God. And we're like, hey, we need to go that direction. They're like, well, we'll get you as close as we can. So they drive us, and we also lost, exact location of where the strike was. Comms were going crazy. Different units were being contacted. Commander was trying to figure out exactly where it was. So we run up the steepest hill in Kyiv. I'm lagging behind with Mr. Chubby Man. F you, Mike Dunn. And also, don't get drunk while we're on call. So he's like stumbling up the hill. We and finally we get to the top of the hill. We're all dead, and we realize exactly where the explosion was. And we there's this red, I think it's a Toyota Yaris, like at the top of the hill, and this guy's like staying next to it, like on his phone or something. We're like, hey, and these are the Ukrainians talking, but essentially like, can you take us here? You're the only car in sight. We can't walk there. We're the unit on call. Blah blah blah. And he's like, if you can fit. So we proceed, like 8 of us, including I think the driver, to jump in a Toyota Yaris and drive there. And here's a video of me hanging out the back with the hatch open. My, like, heels dragging the ground every time we hit a bump. I'm being held on by my collar to the guys in the back seat, so I don't fall out the back, because I didn't have anything to hold on to. So we get there, you can hear, Mike Dunn running his mouth. So yeah, we get there. First we have to help, get the crowd back. Reporters and stuff were like just started running up onto the site. It was a civilian building. Yeah, the report, like we were having to like just yell at reporters in English. There, we started having, what we didn't realize was a lot were like Western reporters and press.
Mm-hmm.
So they started yelling at us back in English, and then we basically told them to go F off. It was really bad. Like they were trying to basically push through like police lines to get like the latest scoop on what was going on. Which, I mean, in some cases isn't bad, you know, private press is very good, but also, like, we don't know, you know, we don't know the situation at the time. I have some pictures of the missile and stuff. We were allowed to be on scene. I mean, we were the first responders. We had, I thought this was ironic. As we were walking to the bomb site, this was, like, 100 meters away, and this was bravery is stronger than bombs. Took a picture of that.
Ooh.
Here's the rocket motor laying on the ground.
Damn.
Also, fun fact, I met the Minister of Defense for Ukraine. He was standing right there next to me. And one of the Ukrainians was like, do you know who that is? I was like, hell no, he looks like a Ukrainian in a suit. Like, looking all fancy. And they were like, that's the, like, Minister of Defense. Like, he was the equivalent of, like, the DOD.
Right.
Command, or not command, whatever, commandant. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Oh yeah, there's Leeds and old Mike Dunn. Mr. No Cardio. This is an apartment building here. All the windows completely blown out. Everything's destroyed. Make sure there's no more people in these photos. Yeah, just rubble everywhere. Fire trucks were just showing up. If I remember correctly, I think 2 people were killed. 1 was wounded. Don't know how there weren't more. Yeah, that's about it. We went to this outdoorsy store, found a display of O-lights, and realized that Ukraine had all the munitions it needed to fight the Russians with. In this one store.
Whole case of grenades right there.
And then, next topic is, we trained at a minefield. So, like, literally a minefield. On purpose. So, we, the guys are like, hey, so the commander, long story, had, was working with another unit, like our sister unit or something, and they had a volunteer, former Ukrainian Alpha Group soldier, which Alpha Group is, like we talked about last week, Ukrainian Special Forces. Dude's tactics were straight out of a 1990s USSR textbook, like, just, I don't know how to say this politely, but wrong. And then he was like, okay, we're gonna train out here in the minefield, and we're like, excuse me, we're what? And it's like, oh yeah, it's safe. They're clearing it while we go.
Why don't?
And we're like, excuse me? So we're sitting there training. They're like, okay, this area should be clear of mines.
It should be.
And literally, like, 50 meters away, you know, like clockwork, we hear a boom. And then, like, the EOD, there's an EOD, like, volunteer unit on the other side of the field, like, actively clearing it while we're in a different part of the field. And they're like, they've already cleared this section. We're like, cool. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we're training in a minefield. The guy was an absolute idiot. We fought, we butted heads the entire time. wanted to kind of teach our guys wrong things. Our guys were like, no, this is how we're taught. You know, this is what we're gonna do. Stuff like that. It was horrible. It looks like later that night we went and got some went to this music, you could call it like a little music hall. Super cool. Cool dudes. Had some like mushroom tea and stuff, herbal teas. There's just like a cool like chill hipster hangout place. Found my first Dr. Pepper in Ukraine. Yeah, but going back to the minefield, it was crazy. Literally, we were walking, not single file, we probably ideally should have been, but we were doing like a staggered column. But it was insane. We were like, yeah, we're like actively looking where we step and stuff. This the quote-unquote instructor, like Alpha Group, former Special Forces, Alpha Group, Special Forces instructor, whatever, was like, this is how we do it. This is the correct way. And we're like, no. Like, you're talking about, like, a whole 50 years ago. Like, this may have been how you fought, old man, but this is wrong. He's, like, teaching us how to set up ambushes. And then it ended, because, quote, we, like, did an ambush wrong, and they saw us from, like, 100 meters away, laying down in a flat field. And we're like, well, what do you expect? He's like, to not be seen. We're like, what? Once again, how do you expect us to do that? And they're like, better camouflage. And, like, you couldn't win. And he was literally just trying to make a spectacle out of, like, the American volunteers for being bad instructors and not teaching correctly. It was annoying. I took this picture. It's a Doc's case. Yeah. Then we played some soccer with, I can't show pictures of really any. Oh, hey, you want to see our friend as a goalie, as a keeper? He takes up the whole goal.
Fucking Christ.
Doesn't even have to move to block the ball.
Homie also started carrying a tourniquet because he wanted to be cool like the rest of us who carry medical supplies.
Started carrying a tourniquet.
Yeah, like the rest of us all had tourniquets and like IFAKs on us, and I guess he took it so seriously that he carried one playing soccer. Also, homie wore his U.S. dog tags around everywhere he went on the outside of his shirt.
Oh. The cringe. Oh my god.
Here's the real keeper, right here with the Ohana arm shirt and the U.S. Army PT shorts. The multicam black Ultimas. Alright, I think this will be our last
camo.
Yeah. I think this will be our last kind of couple things for today. So the next time we were on the Cursed Bridge, and that's why we still continue to call it the Cursed Bridge, we're like walking down the bridge, and we get to the checkpoint, which is right up there, where my mouse is, like, so, like, right up here is the checkpoint. And we're, like, handing them our passports, and they're, like... Basically, we had one Ukrainian, our commander was with us. He's there on the left in the brown shirt. And they were, like... Essentially, it was like, help, we need you now! Why they just picked the random Westerners? I mean, we did have IFAKs want us at all times due to issues like this. And they're like, we need you now! Come help us! And so, like, the guards just literally handed us back our passports and, like, documents. Didn't even care. And we're like, go! And so, we get, like, 3/4 of the way across the bridge, and there's just, like, blood everywhere. Like, thick globs of blood on the bridge. Closer we get, like, the thicker and more blood it gets. And, so we, like, just take off running, I mean, even more. I mean, we're like, oh, geez, what's going on? Because, like, they were trying to tell our commander, like, so fast what was going on, they didn't even finish and just turned around and started running, like, while trying to yell behind them to tell us what was going on. So we get to the other side of the bridge, and homie's got a knife wound all the way through his femoral artery.
Oh.
Like, I won't say necessarily all the way through, but massive knife wound in his femoral. And we're like, cool, good thing we have med supplies. This homie's bleeding out on the ground. He's with a group of Ukrainian National Guard. So there's actually a Ukrainian National Guard and TDF, but they serve different roles. National Guard's typically more like a police force. Homie's bleeding out on the ground. Not a single one of them has a tourniquet or an IFAK. Not one of them. out of like a whole unit, like I say unit, like a two squad, group of about 20 dudes. Not a single one had an IFAK or a tourniquet, while all carrying weapons on them and kit. And they're letting the dude bleed out. One of them had like a belt that he was trying to keep tight around the leg. The dude's bleeding everywhere, like actively still gushing blood. Well, what do? We save the day, apply proper first aid, stop the bleeding. Turns out one of the National Guardsmen was drunk and stabbed this dude in the leg over a girl. Yep. The whole time the dude's on the ground like, it's okay, I forgive him. It's no big deal. He's like, I'm fine. And we're like, homie, half your blood's on the ground, dude. And he's like, it's okay. He's like, thank you so much for helping. It's fine. And we're like, giving him, I think we gave him some morphine and some other stuff. And like, we're trying to take care of this dude. And he's just like, I'm fine. And he's like, it's okay. I forgive him. It was a misunderstanding. It was great. So yeah, every time we were on that bridge, we never went back to that bridge after this time because the first time was fine. Second time, a freaking building got bombed. And then the third time, homie's bleeding out on the pavement. Also, more... Can you get my picture in front of this?
Oh my fucking god!
And the fact that he's
every time you tell me something more about this guy, I fucking hate him more. Like,
oh boy. I do have a cool. Oh, here I have his face blurred in this one.
wow.
The bank robber coming in clutch with the Marlboro Reds.
Cowboy killers, baby.
Oh, here's a There you go. Here's knife wound. I think photo credits to Elon for this one. Yeah, it went in at an angle, and so it like was front of thigh, and then went in at an angle, and like you can see the blood running down the pavement. Like this is one of many blood puddles that size. Like the dude lost a lot of blood. So yeah.
That's pretty gnarly.
Here's a picture of one of the guys. We're wrapping this up. Those are last couple pictures here. And then we're just going to put a pin in it until next week. One of the guys, we're at the same training site. It's the abandoned mental hospital thing. The guy was like, can I wear your armor? And I was like, yeah, sure. So he put my armor on and he wanted a picture. He was like, look, I'm American now. He's like, they called us American Special Forces because of our kit and our tactics. And they were like, so we were literally like in the group, they're like, oh yeah, they tell their friends, like if someone else is like, because they ask us all the time, they're like, can we bring friends to training? And we're like, yeah, please, like bring more people. And they're like, they'd introduce them. This is my friend Jamie. He's American Spetsnaz. And we're like, well, no. And they're like,
not exactly.
And it was hilarious. We're like, no, please don't give us that. But whatever. Here's a group picture. Unfortunately, not everyone in this picture is still alive. Very sad. Several of them are, I think at least 2 of them are no longer, 1 or 2 are no longer with us, and I know at least one in this picture has been wounded and is recovering. And then once again, he wanted to keep my carrier on, so I got a picture of him walking back to the Vic, still wearing my carrier. And I think we're going to stop it about here. So a couple more just things. We watched Red Dawn, the original Red Dawn. And Elon fell asleep. So we tried to figure out how many things we could stack on his face. Turns out it's a lot. So yeah, I think we'll put a pin in it there for today. We didn't get all the talking points, but we're at a great stopping point, and we've gone on for a while. Y'all have any questions real quick before we move on to our very fast current events?
Nope.
Sweet. Questions, comments, concerns. All right, so events. Rip Wagner group. Homie got shot down. I don't know what's gonna happen. I still have bets that he's actually still alive. This will go back.
Last I read,
Apparently,
they're making all the
allegedly,
Black
it's been confirmed by DNA that it was him. Allegedly.
I thought it was confirmed by a missing finger and tattoos, is what I've heard, or what.
No, that's how they identify.
Oh, my Discord's frozen. Well. Oh, I'm back. I'm back.
Oh shit!
Welcome back.
Yeah, so maybe it has been confirmed. I still have bets that he's not really dead. Who knows? There's been a lot of videos coming out of I've yet to see any videos of him. Are you having fun highlighting the doc?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I am.
I mean, I don't care. Keep going. I thought it was funny.
See that.
We have our doc in Google Docs, and it's just like highlighted, unhighlighted, highlighted, unhighlighted. Yeah, I've yet to see a video of the plane actually getting hit. I mean, I don't know why anyone would be videoing a random plane flying a
Right.
random plane, but the video of the plane post getting hit, there's a couple of them floating around where like you can see a clear missile trail like leading up to the plane. Like it's obvious that it was shot down. Then there's been, the videos of the crash site, and then one of the most recent videos I saw was the Russians like investigating and hauling off the debris, and they just started like dragging it behind tractors, like through the woods. And that one of the captions or one of the comments is like, I see the Russians care so much about
Preserving the evidence for the whatever.
And they're just like, nah, the guy's just like picking up debris and throwing it on the wing as it gets drugged past him. So yeah, that happened. Then the Russian Volunteers for Ukraine, I think is their technical title, posted a video on their Instagram, Telegram, something. Basically saying, hey, we can set aside our differences, Wagner, if we can march on Moscow together. We're both Russians after all.
Based.
So, yeah. And I don't know much more. I think, from my understanding,
I think I would have trouble believing that as a Ukrainian, though.
Oh, I would. I mean, yeah. From my understanding, though, Wagner released a video today. Well, allegedly Wagner threatening Putin, and basically they were like, "Yeah, we're coming for you now. You killed our dad, so we're coming for blood." I don't know how true.
You killed him. Sign contracts.
Yeah. I know several.
You killed my father.
Honestly, if I see, dude, that's a great movie. If y'all haven't seen Princess Bride, that's your homework for this week for the next episode. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. I foresee this whole thing happening something like, oh no, your dad's dead. I guess you now have to be integrated into the Russian military. If you refuse, you die.
Oh man.
So that's how I kind of foresee this going. I would love to see another Wagner coup. For the record, Wagner's a terrible group. Always has been, to my understanding, probably always will be. However, I'd love to see him march on Moscow again and actually succeed. I feel like if that Ukrainian video, of them saying the Russian Volunteers for Ukraine is, all accurate and true. I mean, that's pretty based. I feel like you can set your differences aside to, fight a common enemy to an extent. I don't know necessarily the outcome of that, but I'd love to see something like that happen. I saw one meme. It was all of his different passport pictures, and it was only one of them crossed out, and it was like, you didn't kill Prigozhin, you killed blah, blah, blah. There's still 6 more. So
one down, 5 remain.
We will see. I don't know. Somebody asked me, they were like, oh, do you have any insider information? Hell no. I do not. I don't know what's going on.
How the fuck should I know?
Yeah, just because I have friends, in that space, or friends still fighting, doesn't mean I know what's going on with Prigozhin. I am not the CIA. Let's see. Trump was arrested. That happened this week.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah, drain the swamp unless you're the swamp, and then it shouldn't be drained. I will say from a, from a very non-right left perspective, Trump, I feel like, I mean, Trump's committed serious crimes, depending on which exact arrest or, claim we're referring to. But I do find it kind of funny that he's being arrested while no one else is, who's also committed similar crimes. With that said, 100% feel that some of the allegations and what appear to be pretty solid evidence, and some of which he's even admitted to, like, there's still a video of him being like, "Oh yeah, I definitely have I definitely had classified documents. What's the problem with that?" And it's like, what isn't? I mean,
What
I would
do
go to
you
prison
mean?
for how many years for that? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
but at the same time, every other president has had classified documents found in their house. So the fact
Yeah.
that they're doing it with just him it's just a witch hunt.
I do call BS about that. Like, I mean, this is coming from a perspective of they should all be in jail. So,
100%.
I mean, if we're starting with Trump, and then the next one's Biden, and then the next one's Obama, and then the next one's Bush,
And then more.
Yeah,
And
like,
then more?
That's awesome. Like, please. But, like, yeah, arrest them all. But, I mean, they have to be held to the same standard us, puny little civilians are. I'm just a single individual person, but I mean, if I did any of those things, I'd be in jail
I
for
would
20
even say they
plus
should be
years.
held to a higher standard. I mean, they're the
True.
ones running the country,
True.
and they're the head of it. I would
Yeah.
expect them to.
If you're gonna make arbitrary laws for the people, you sure as hell better follow them. Like, if you have the audacity to set arbitrary laws, you got to keep them. So
Did you see the Republican senator who set the record for the biggest unreported stock trade in history?
Yep. I mean, no, but I
Yeah.
mean, that doesn't surprise me.
It's like a little over 20 million worth of
I bet he's-
stocks that
Oh.
went unreported for I think it was 120 days after he was legally required to report them.
That's
And
amazing.
his penalty was still $332.
less than some
Excellent.
speeding tickets.
Yeah.
I got a ticket for using my phone in my car the other day. It was $347. So
Gosh.
Oh, ouch.
Well.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he pulled you over while running your plates with a laptop while he was driving.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where's the sense in that? It makes no sense.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to bet, I don't know the situation, but I'm sure that Republican senator was on some finance committee and had some kind of insider knowledge on something, No one just, invests 20 million in stocks blindly. I mean, I say no one. I mean, I've seen dumber things. But
yeah. I'll try to find the story again and send it to you guys. But
yeah, the amount of stuff that like that happens. I saw something the other day. I don't remember. In fact, this may have even been the same story, but I don't think so. I think this was something a few years ago that I was kind of just reading about. It was something like senators bought this and that, and then imposed laws and regulations or removed something like that because they were on the committee that like was in charge of those companies or the
Are you talking about-
regulations.
are you talking about Feinstein buying fucking Pfizer stock
No,
right
it was
before
not
the
Feinstein.
shit came out?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Feinstein. I did see something about
Or no, it was Nancy
Fauci,
Pelosi. Sorry.
who
Yeah.
did something. Who it was like he wasn't buying Pfizer stock, but it was something like he was obviously in charge, and then he had patents. Like he held patents or something in that, so he gets a kickback for a lot of those vaccines and stuff. I was like, I wish I could find that again. But yeah, just constant. Oh, hi, Onyx!
Say hi to the camera.
You're famous now to a whole, probably 3 viewers. I really need to get a third monitor so I can check our chat, because we actually do get random, like, chat comments, and then I never see them till afterward.
Oh yeah, you definitely.
Oh shit, that's a good point.
Yeah, I'll get a third monitor eventually. Well, actually, I have one. It's just not plugged in because I don't have a DisplayPort
one of us
adapter.
could pull it up next time.
That's
So
true.
you
That
don't
is
have to
true.
worry.
Someone else can
I'll-
be in
I'll
charge
start
of the
doing
chats.
I'll start doing
Perfect.
that.
So yeah.
Next time we'll answer y'all's questions, we promise.
Yeah, all 3 of our viewers. But yeah, Trump arrested. That's great news. Now do the rest of them, or all of them.
And
Do
then
all
more.
of them, and then more.
And then more.
Current one first, please. Get him out of office.
Yeah, well, it'd be, let's do like Trump, then Biden, then I'm sure Obama did something. I don't know anything else.
He's
Bush.
a fucking war
Bush was
criminal.
Bush. Yeah, but yeah,
Bush
they're
did
all war
9/11.
criminals, honestly. Bush also killed Harambe, as we now know.
Motherfucker.
Rip.
Weren't you the one that sent me that meme in a few weeks ago about like Bush, like knew Harambe or something when he was a kid? Wasn't that you?
I have no idea.
I don't freaking know. If true, it's huge. That means Bush did Harambe. and
Big if
9/11.
true. Big if true.
Big if true. Yep, I think that's all I have. Anyone have any other current events?
I think
Trump's
that's it.
mugshot's hilarious.
Iconic.
It puts a smile on my face.
He looks so angry. It's awesome.
And I love too how like the right is still like continuing to worship him, and now they're making him like a martyr. And then somebody was like, "So let me get this straight. No matter how many like criminal investigations is open on someone, and at this point it could literally be for like murder, the entire like, Trump dick suckers would be like, he didn't do anything wrong. That's my president." And then the left will continue to just like throw arbitrary, whatever at him. Like yeah.
He didn't do nothing.
That's my president. But yeah, hold them all accountable. If we get held accountable by the same arbitrary rules and laws they set, they sure as hell should be. Yeah, I think we still have one. Hold on, let me check our stock for the flags. I think we still have one left. Yeah, we got one flag left. Go buy a flag. Blake has one. Which way am I pointing? That way. Blake has one. They're really cool. This will probably be the only double-sided run we ever do. I love double-sided, but they're really thick, which I mean is good for quality for waving.
You're gonna actually
Not
use them
great
outdoors,
for a wall
yeah.
hanger, yeah. So if you want a super heavy-duty flag, go get them now. This will, like I said, will probably be our only time we ever drop these. There will be more in the future, but we'll probably only do single-sided. We're also working on a new design. I won't show it yet. That's still to be announced. It's gonna be super.
No,
sick.
it's not ready yet.
And then we also have. I actually need to follow up. I'm not designing this one, but the Devil Drives Lada logo. I haven't checked up on that in a few weeks. I'm not the one designing.
Swag.
That should be sick. I kind of drew it out a little bit on what I was thinking about a year ago when I thought about the Devil Drives Lada podcast while I was in Ukraine, and I'm super excited to see how that goes. So yeah, we got some new designs coming. You got anything in the pipeline, Ian, you want to share, or anything new coming out?
I'm still working on finding a manufacturer, but we do have a Maui charity patch coming out here pretty soon.
Oh, sick.
All the proceeds from that will go directly to folks that are affected. If you're not already, you can check out at Lahaina Ohana Venmo on Instagram. That will get you directly plugged in with folks who have been affected by the fire, as opposed to going through some kind of third-party charity organization. That's what we've chosen to do as well. So
awesome.
There will
Do you
be
have any...
an announcement for that on Instagram when it drops.
And where can they follow you at?
At Operator Supply.
Nice. I'll put that in the YouTube description probably tomorrow, because I'm getting on Tarkov after we end this.
And
do you have any
half of our? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, go ahead. I was changing topics a little bit.
From now until we sell out of what we have on hand now, 50% of the rest of our patch proceeds are going to go to charity as well.
Nice. Does that include
'cause
your
we've all-
sick Blackbeard Halo patches?
Yep. We
Nice.
got a few of those left.
Let me go grab mine, I'll show
We've
everybody.
broken even on all of our patches, so I figure the best thing that we can do to try to free up some inventory space and maybe give some extra money to folks that need it.
Super drippy patches. Do you still
And
have any
patches all
caps
ship
and
same
stuff
day.
in stock?
So, any what?
I know last week you had a cool deal on a raid mod set with a tab.
Yep.
Do you still have that?
Yep. Nobody's picked that up yet. We have a one-off chocolate chip raid mod with matching pants, and that'll come with the ODST tabs as well.
Nice.
I'm gonna, since that hasn't sold yet, I'm gonna drop that down to 159 shipping included.
Sick. Hopefully that'll go to a good home. Do you have like a 2-minute update on Maui? I know I also saw something this week. It's gone kind of not viral, but in the news community about the guys that or the families that drove around the police barricades, actively trying to barricade people in the fire zone. Those are the only people that actually survived. Are the ones that literally drove through police barricades illegally.
That
So
did what they
police
thought
aren't your
was
friends
breaking the
sometimes.
law at the time. Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah, like people actively died, quote, obeying the law instead of just the article I read, it was like I don't know if it was like a Jeep, but it was a 4x4. Like they actually went off-roading to drive all the way like around the barricade off the road. And then there was another family that literally just apparently drove straight through it. I don't know if like I don't there's no videos or pictures, so I don't know if they like smashed through cop cars or if they just kind of weaved their way around it. I don't know if there were cops actively stationed there threatening to shoot people. You know, I don't know the situation, but literally the people that disobeyed survived. So yeah, that's heartbreaking.
Yep, that's a pretty big takeaway for everyone. You know, following the rules is often not in your best interest. And one day your life could depend on disobedience.
Yeah. But your
Just
life...
because somebody has a badge and a costume on doesn't mean they necessarily know better than you.
Got 'em. Yeah. Do what's best for you and your family and your loved ones, and of course, you know, to an extent, the way I think collectively us three see it. I know we don't like to, we sprinkle politics in. We don't. I don't think we've yet said, you know, exactly what we are, you know, verbatim, but you know, I think the majority of us believe that your rights end when you infringe on someone else's. So, you know, you don't get a pass to go murder people because that's your right. But, you know, you have the right to survive and do what you must for your family and your loved ones. So, just because, like you said, there's a guy with some arbitrary piece of metal on his chest wearing a Halloween costume. Doesn't mean you're gonna sit there and die in your car as you get burned alive. So, because he's telling you not to bypass the road or, you know, whatever. So, do what you need to do.
He took an oath to protect you.
Yeah, to serve and protect my dick. Hey, there's a in one of the Transformers movies, one of the Decepticons that turns into a cop car. It's like what is his hold on, let me pull this up.
It's to something and enslave. I forget.
Yeah,
I forget what the first one is.
Punish and enslave.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Transformers being based. All right, everyone.
Accidentally based Michael Bay.
Yeah, honestly, you know, let's just go ahead and make that your takeaway this week. I think our takeaway last week was don't talk to cops. This week, like, do what you need to do to take care of your family and your loved ones. This whole episode's been a bit of a meme, so we're not gonna have a meme segment today. But
morality does not equate to legality.
Yep.
that'll be my dad advice for this episode.
We got a podcast next week. Next Sunday, same time, 7-ish. I'm never gonna say 7 again because it's never gonna happen. We will not
We're
have
always on, but we don't
Well,
go
we got,
live
like,
or
our
start recording
pre-meeting.
on time because we're sitting there fucking around.
I mean, I enjoy it. So yeah, podcast next week. We're gonna oh, I don't have my notes, or I never actually finished typing them. We're gonna talk about being next to the Chernobyl exclusion exclusion zone.
Exclusion, yeah.
We were right off the Belarus border. Well, I say we, me and my team in Ukraine. We were right off the Belarus border, right outside of the Chernobyl exclusion zone.
But were you there? Were you there when the Ruskies were actively attempting to take it?
No. So this was a little bit later. They'd already completely retreated out of that area.
Gotcha.
I was there specifically, and this was before I had signed a contract, or I had a weapon. We had, I think I kind of vaguely touched about it. We had, some volunteered weapons that would be given to us in event of something happening, but we were there to, train our guys and to, we were the front lines, but those front lines were not active at the time of being there. But fun fact, we, Chernobyl, yeah, we'll talk about this next week. A couple big things did happen while we were there. Chernobyl caught on fire, the forest surrounding it, so we, had some nice radioactive smoke.
Red Forest, yeah.
And, then, a house caught on fire, and, like, everyone thought we were being shelled. It was one of the, like, armory houses, and it had an electrical short.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, it was that was a whole thing of us in a bit of a panic, but refusing to get up and like check the area because we didn't have weapons, so we all just went back to bed. But yeah, some crazy stuff happened while we were up there. We met another American who's been there for years in and out of Ukraine. Great guy, has dedicated literally years of his life to fighting and training fighting for Ukraine and training Ukrainians. And we fought with one of the commanders there, one of the Ukrainian commanders. We about got a freaking fist fight with him for just being an entitled prick who didn't care about his soldiers or their well-being. So yeah, we'll catch. We'll talk more about Mike Dunn next week. We might have some photos of him. We'll see. So yeah, come back next week. It'll be a solid episode. Yeah. Anyone have any last things? I guess we had our takeaway a little bit early, but yeah.
Drink water. Call your parents.
Yeah, check on
Find the
people.
people around you.
Yeah, just check on people. You never know what they're going through, what's going on. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching, and y'all are great. So, later, guys.
Bye-bye.